Okay, so today's lesson class is a real thinker lesson. You got to really be careful what you're doing and figure out what's being asked of you, how to do it. A couple things to keep in mind that's really key. Number one is never use rounded answers because you will not be accurate enough. Okay, so for example, if you have a side length and you never use rounded answers, sorry. So if it shows you it's like 61.25, don't round that to 61.3 and expect you get a right answer. What you need to do is use 61.2536. So you need to use 4 decimals, okay? If you don't use 4 decimals, you will not be accurate enough and your answer is going to be off. So keep in mind, if you're close but not close enough, it's because you used a rounded answer. Now, if you can't keep 4 decimals, okay, what you can do, so it depends which calculator you have, the new version or the old version, will kind of depend on what you do. The older version, I find that you don't have to worry about it because you have the number in your calculator already. You can answer it, especially by the way you type in your keys. Whereas with the new calculators, you're going to probably end up using your ANS button. Okay, your ANS button brings up the last answer calculated. And so that way you can enter in the exact number in the correct position in your calculation. All right. So we'll play around with that a little bit. If you ever have a question, let me know and I can help you. And I'll try and show you with my new calculator on how to do that. So that'll be the graphing. Other key points is often today you'll have to add parts of an angle or a side. Angle, A-N-G-L-E / or a side to form a larger angle or side. To form a larger angle or a side. And the reverse is also true, right? You're going to have to subtract parts from a large angle side to find the smaller piece. Right, to find another piece. So not only do you have to see how triangles are connected so you can do your work, but you're going to have to be a bit of a detective to figure out what the diagram means, what it says, and how to do your calculation. Okay, and then you're going to have to get your answers and add them together. Only talking about rounding, when do you round? You only round at the end. Okay, only round final answers. Now you gotta be careful because sometimes you find an answer, you have to write it down and round it, but then when you do more work, you have to go back and use the unrounded answer. So that makes it a little bit tricky. Okay, so you only round your final answer. So here is our diagram. And you also might end up doing Pythagoras. So you gotta pay attention. So what we're trying to find is QR, which is this entire thing. So what we have to do is we have to find QS and add RS. So if we add this little piece here and this little piece here, we will have the entire big piece RQ or QR. So that's our goal, is to find those two pieces and add them up. So let's label our diagram with our pieces. QS is 32. Well, that's nice of them. They already gave us one of them. Angle PQS. So remember, Q is your vertex. It goes in the middle. All right. That's a very, very key part here with our naming of our triangles. So PQS, here's QP, there's Q, and there's S. So it's this angle right in here. All right, that's the angle that they're talking about. So that angle is 50 degrees. We can label it. And angle RPS is right here, RPS. So that angle is 61 degrees. So we can label that 61 degrees right in that other triangle. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to do a calculation with 50 and 32, because those are two numbers in the triangle, and find PS. Then we will find PS, or use PS and 61 to find RS. Then we will add them together. So let's get started. For the small triangle, label your HOA. So H, O, and A. So we're dealing with O and A, we'd use tan. So tan 50 degrees equals opposite side, which is PS, over 32. So we get 32 times tan 50 degrees equals PS. And so we can go to your calculator and get that number. Now I'm going to work with a new calculator, because I said I would. So I can show you my ANS button, which for me is second function right here. So if I go second function, press ANS, oh, it didn't do a calculation. So I go 5 times 6 equals, that's 30. So if I go 8 plus second function ANS, then I'll get 38 as my answer, because it's 8 plus 30, which was the previous calculated answer. So for me, I'm going to go 32 times tan 50. There we go, 38.1361. So 38.1361. Double check my number. 1361. Good. Use 4 decimals. Keep it as 4 decimals. Perfect. Okay. You don't have to write it weird like I did. So 38.1361. Good. Now what we're going to do then is use PS and 61 to find RS. So it's a new triangle, new angle, label my HOA based on this new triangle. So this angle must be 90 degrees because the one that's 90 degrees is supplementary to it. Hypotenuse, this would be opposite and this would be adjacent. So you'll see your HOA is all based on that second triangle. So I'll use tangent again. Tan 61 degrees equals opposite, which is RS, divided by O, which is 38.1361. So RS equals 38.1361 times tan 61 degrees equals RS. So then you go to your calculator and find RS. So since I already have it in there, I don't need to press my ANS button or anything. I can just go times, and it's going to take the answer and multiply it. Tan 61 equals, and I should close that off with a bracket. Boom. 68.79937. So 68.799. Okay, so I don't have to round it with 4 decimals. I just write 4 and I'm good. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add plus 32, right? And add that up. And so what does that equal? Where are we here? Minus 0. I'm not going to add minus anything. I'm just going to go plus 32. 100.799, so I round it to 100.8 equals 100.8. Okay, so 100.8, and my units is millimeters. equals RQ, or QR, alphabetical. Good. Any questions? 100.8 millimeters equals QR. And you know what? If you want to put that in a box, it makes it really easy to find. So here we have to add our pieces together, and we have to find the shared side between the two triangles. Next one, we have to do the same idea, because we are trying to find BEA. E is the vertex. So we have B to E to A. So it's this angle right here, the entire thing. So what we have to do is find this angle and this angle, the X and the dot, and then add them together. And that is going to be angle BEA. So let's work with the triangle on the right. Label my HOA, H, O, and A. So I am going to, oh, you know what? Ooh, tricky. I'm going to find O. And the only reason I need to find O is because in this second triangle, I only have one piece of information. So because of that, I need to find another side, and I can easily find this shared side using triangle 1. And then I can work with triangle 2. Okay? So with triangle 1, label my HOA, find O, which is EC. So I will say sine, O and H. Sine 39 degrees equals O, which is CE, over hypotenuse, which is 3.7. Bring up a multiply. And find CE. And so I'm going to go to my new calculator and do 3.7 times sine 39 equals 2.3284. 2.3284, 4 decimals. So then I can find angle BEC, so I can find the X angle. So I will say, label my HOA, new triangle. According to angle X, this is my hypotenuse, this is my opposite, and that's my adjacent. And so I'm going to use A and H, which is cosine. So cos angle X equals adjacent, which is EC, or CE. So 2.3284, the number I just found, divided by 4.6. So X equals cos negative 1, 2.3284 divided by 4.6. Remember to have brackets around them. And so on my calculator now, I'm going to go second function, cosine, and then I'm going to hit my A and S button. So second function A and S. So that puts 2.3284 in that location. Now, if you didn't want to use your A and S, you could just simply use 4 decimals, and you would be more than accurate. Anything less, though, and you're probably going to get wrong answers. Now, in order to complete the division, I need my brackets. Now I press equals. So it's going to be 59.58 degrees. So 59.58 degrees. For angles, it's okay if you keep less than 4 because we're round to the whole number. Now, the trick here is the dot. The dot can actually be found for triangle 1. So for the dot, that equals 180 degrees, the entire triangle, minus the 90 because there's the symbol, and minus 39 because I know it. It's given to me. So trickily enough, those little sneaky buggers are giving you enough information to actually just do your subtraction in order to figure out that top angle. And so that equals 51 degrees. So now I can add them together. So I can add 59.58 degrees plus 51 degrees equals, okay, so that's from up here. And then I just go to my calculator and go plus 51 equals 110.589, so 110.6. Actually, whole number, please, whole number. So 111 degrees. 111 degrees. That's because it was 110.599 Okay, so here's another classic question. Two buildings are 72 meters apart. So one's taller, one's shorter. It doesn't matter which one you put taller, so if you go shorter, taller, or taller and then shorter. I think I will go taller and then shorter. Okay, don't worry about the size too terribly much. But buildings are 72 meters apart, so 72 meters goes there. And here's a dashed line because you're on the top of the smaller building, so you have to draw the horizon. And what you're doing then is you're doing the angle of elevation to the top of the other building's 27 degrees. So here it is 27 degrees. The angle of depression to the base of the other building is 34. So the horizon down right here is 34 degrees. And now what the key point is that the buildings are 72 meters apart. So at the base it's 72, but it's also right here. 72 meters is also the distance that the buildings are apart at the top of the smaller building. Okay? So what you have to do here is you have to find the height of the taller building. So we can use triangle 1 to find x, this distance from the height to the bottom. And then we can use triangle 2 to find y, this distance here. And then what we can do is figure out the height, because the height equals x plus y. So this question is straightforward. I'm just going to show you really quickly. This would be 90 degrees right there. So we're talking H, O, and A. So we're going to be looking at tangent. So tan 34 degrees equals opposite. And I got that label wrong. Sorry about that. O over A. So it would be X over 72. So we're going to get 72 times tan 34 degrees equals x, and we figure out the building height. Times 34 tan equals 48.564. 48.564. And I want to keep 4, so I can go 6. Okay. So then I'm going to use the top triangle, label my HOA again. So H, O, A, and I'll use tangent. Now, of course, I'm using 27 degrees. So this is working on the top triangle, triangle number 2. Opposite is y over the distance apart, 72. So we get 72, more writing, Mr. Barker. 72 times tan 27 degrees equals y. Y, find my answer. 72 times tan 27 equals, that's not right, 72 27 tan, press equals 36.6858. 6.6858. Good. So then what we're going to do is just go x plus y, and I will end up 48.5646 plus 36.6858. And total then is the height of the building. So I will then add, since the number is already in there, 48.5646, and we got 85.25, so 85.2 meters. Now I guarantee you, if I do not use all 4 decimals, I would have a number that's close, but not close enough. All right, 85.2 meters is the height of the large building. Okay, good. Next question. So this diagram has 2 overlapping triangles. We have a triangle A and triangle B. So what we're trying to do is figure out how far apart the runners are. Here's runner A, here's runner B. So basically what we're asking is, what is this distance? So what we're going to do is we're going to use this triangle to find this distance, use this triangle to find the entire distance, and then we will subtract to figure out the distance they are apart. Because if we have the entire big triangle, right, we have this entire length, but then we take away this part, what's left over? What we're trying to find. Okay, so that's our goal right there. So let's see here. A and B heading back home to apartments from window 80 meters above. So the little trick right here is this here is 80 meters. Okay, so that would be 80 meters right there, that distance. So if you want, sometimes it's really helpful to draw the triangle separate. And I'm going to show you that right now. So here is A, okay, and this is going to be 80, and we're going to find X. And then we have B, which is the same height, it's still 80, but we're looking out over to here. So this is 80, this is still 90, because buildings meet the ground in perpendicular angles. And we're going to find Y. And then what we will do is we will go the entire distance minus X will equal AB, the distance between A and B. Okay, so that's kind of our goal here. So I'll do it real quickly now. Label my HOA, HOA 10. So this would be for A 10. Angle of depression to the runners is 28 degrees. So this here is 28 and 24. So 28 is the big one, and 24 is a small one. Now doing parallel lines, here's the trick, is that's 28, it makes a Z angle right here, so this would be 28 degrees there, and this would be 24 degrees there. So 28 degrees, 24 degrees. That's the tricky part, and how do we get that? Come see me or ask me if you need help with that. So 10, 28 degrees equals opposite over X. So then X equals, skip a step here just for time, 10, 28 degrees, and then X equals the number. For the other one, label your HOA, HOA. So you would say 10, 24 degrees equals opposite 80 over Y. So again, I'm going to skip a step, and 10, 24 degrees, and figure out what Y equals. And then to figure out the distance from AB, I'll simply go the entire distance minus the first part, and that'll equal the second part. So you can do that on your own time. Okay. Here, don't do this one. This is going to be, we didn't do unit 1. We switched our units around, so this would be not on test. Okay. Not on the test. So, just to recap, with sides, sometimes you'll have to add. So if this is A, B, C, AC equals AB plus BC. Okay, or sometimes you will have to subtract. And so then you can say BC equals AC minus AB. Okay, and so you can then find this side or the entire big side. Same thing with angles. So if we have angle 1, then we have angle 2, that'll be angle ABC. So angle ABC equals angle 1 plus angle 2, and angle 2 would equal angle ABC minus angle 1. So a little bit indirect measurement there, adding and subtracting to find what you need. Okay, homework questions are challenging. Absolutely, give it a shot, okay?